Yo, happy birthday, Willie. I got a real special treat for you today on your birthday. Making you a special um, video for your birthday on this very special day of the announcement of Tony Hawk HD remasters. Yeah, so, hold on, let's get past this ad. And then, there we go. So, here I am. There we go. Okay, so happy birthday, Willie. Let's party. Couldn't think of a better way to party than give you a Game Boy Advance update video, Willie. So we're gonna go through all the games I currently own. So here I am. First up, we have Yu Yu Hakusho, Ghost Files, Spirit Detective. This is kind of set in the first season of Yu Yu Hakusho up to the first fight with younger Taguro before you find out he's one of the big baddies of the series. It's an over-the-top beat-em-up, kind of, Diablo-esque anime game. Has an interesting navigation system in it. The design is to be desired. I mean, you know who you're playing as based off color alone, but they just don't look like the characters. The combat isn't the worst though. It could stand to be more exciting than just running around and punching. Instead of it just doesn't have a very meaty interaction to it, so it's on the lower tier of my games, but I'm glad I have it in my collection as a Yu Yu Hakusho fan. Good anime. See next, The Incredibles, my birthday gift from Drew. Nice little movie tie-in game. There's some interesting movie tie-in games out there, and the Game Boy Advance has quite the library of them, which we'll actually find another in later. I'm very excited to show you. But yeah, this is Incredibles. It's incredible how good it is, actually. It's a very fluid beat 'em up. It's got some you get good reaction from the enemies when you beat the crap out of them, and there's some cool little things, like you throw them against the wall, they'll slide, or they react to the wall, and it's got enemies you got to think about. So I like that. So it's good for a beat 'em up guy like me, and it's got some mini games just kind of to keep you distracted. You can play as Frozone. Where's My Super Suit? Great game. Elastigirl, 10 out of 10. Next we have Scooby-Doo Mystery Mayhem. Little action platformer. I don't think Warner Brothers wants Scooby-Doo actually in combat situations too often. So you're mostly just jumping around solving puzzles in this. It's got some mystery solving elements to it. It's mostly just talking to Velma, and then she asks you a math question, and then you solve the mystery. But the gameplay itself is it's a decent platformer, and it's got some it's got an outfit system where you just you wear a Chinese hat and you turn into a kung fu master. And there's just some outfits that affect it. One of the themes of the game is you're helping out Fred's Hollywood uncle, and so Scooby's just wearing all these costumes. Good little game. Good little starter into the Scoobyverse. We got a couple more to cover. Final Fight 1. Nice little remaster of the Final Fight SNES port. Kind of has a nice little way of tracking the game for you. Basically, the more you beat up things, it tracks your kills even if you die. And as your kills stack, you unlock more things, and that's really how you unlock things. You got to beat the game, because it can be a little tricky for those who aren't as polished as me in the beat 'em up. So it's a very friendly approach to the beat 'em up genre, and also gives nice little extras, like it added dialogue to the game that's pretty funny, you know. Um, and you can like play as like costumes from like different games that they've appeared in, like in Street Fighter Alpha. You can play as Cody in his prison pajamas. You know, I thought that's pretty cool. You know, it's little things like that that make the biggest differences in this. And it's a nice little beat 'em up, very casual, just something you can pick up on the bus ride to work. 10 out of 10. Ooh, we got Dylan's birthday present to me. Legacy of Goku 1 and 2. Legacy of Goku 1 is kind of known as one of the worst games to ever come to the Game Boy Advance. Everyone played it because it was a Dragon Ball Z game. Everyone was like, fuck yeah, you know, Dragon Ball Z. But it sucks. Like, it's... To play the game, it's just... You have to play it like a coward. You don't feel like Goku the way you have to play so cowardly, because every attack is just potentially putting you at risk, and like Goku gets beat up by snakes. It just doesn't. You don't feel strong like Goku. You know, that's a bummer. Then they, the team, I believe it was like Webfoot, took this criticism pretty well and made Legacy of Goku 2 terrific retelling of the Android saga with a little extra side quests that are kind of goofy and original, and they feel a little out of place, but it's fun. I don't mind it. Like when you go to like this guy's bachelor pad and turn off his music because he's disturbing dinosaurs. You know, maybe it's Dragon Ball Z in a way, but you know, it's cool. I get to play as Trunks, go Super Saiyan. You feel tough. You know, the fights, the combat in this game feels a lot more like a Super Saiyan battle. So very fun. Cell Saga is one of my favorite sagas. I mean, it's the fan favorite saga. It's a great experience for the Cell Saga. See, this one just came in the mail today. Lost Vikings, one of Blizzard's earliest titles, a Blizzard classic. I'll give you a little look-see right there. It's a very interesting platform. I actually played it on the PC on FlashPlayer.com. They ported it to FlashPlayer.com so people would buy the actual game for whatever reason. And it was very fun. I wanted to own this for a while now. And it's just like you have 3 different Vikings that you can switch out with at any point, and like you can use each Viking to kind of navigate through the stages. They each have different abilities. Like one has a shield that he can use as a platformer to block things, and the other can like glide. And you got to get them all through the stage. You know, so it's got little puzzle elements. It's goofy, cartoony. You know, you got Vikings fighting fucking aliens. It's cute. Let's see. Got to get to this one. Drake and Josh. I bought this for the memes. I'll be real. I bought it for the memes. I was pleasantly surprised with how well this was as a puzzle stealth action. You know, no combat in this game. Just doesn't need combat. You know, you just play as high school boys. You're just sneaking around. It's puzzles. You gotta get Drake through the schools because everyone wants to make out with him, and then Josh has got more of an interesting strength mechanic that Drake doesn't seem to have. So he can like push things, and that's how his puzzles work. It actually kind of is reminiscent of Zelda in that sense, where it's a lot of push puzzles and stuff like that. And it's got some cute mini games. The final boss of the game is actually a very wholesome talent show where Drake is convincing Josh to go on the talent show with him, and he sings with him, and like you have to play as Drake on guitar while Josh is getting nervous about singing, and you just block the booze and tomatoes, and then you land like Guitar Hero like sequences, and then Josh gets confident, and then you end up winning the talent show together. I thought it was a very wholesome ending. Sorry, I didn't mean to spoil the game for you. 10 out of 10. I am going to try and get good at speedrunning this. Let's see. Next, we have Scooby-Doo Unmasked. This one is also another little Scooby-Doo platformer. It does actually have a little more combat to it. You play as Scooby and Shaggy in unison. They got some like magic like portrait that shoots out lasers and some other crap. I haven't played too much of this one, but it's pretty interesting so far. I mean, I was always wishy-washy when they incorporate, actual monsters in Scooby-Doo. It kind of takes away the fun of it in some senses, but Scooby-Doo Zombie Island is one of the best ones. And James Gunn's Scooby-Doo, terrific film. 10 out of 10. Dynasty Warriors for the Game Boy Advance. I was super excited about this. I'm like, cool. Like, I'd known about it for a long time, but I never knew anything about it. I just knew it existed. Like, dude, I wish I bought that when I had my Game Boy Advance. So I'm like, hey, I'm gonna buy this. I got it in a lot actually with the Yu Yu Hakusho game and something else. Drake and Josh actually. I think I got this with Drake and Josh. This does not transition well. Like, the gameplay, when you get to the actual fights, yeah, it's very cool. Like, you can get to these sequences, but they kind of have it set up so it's like a turn-based strategy game. And then when you make clashes, then it gives you like a little Dynasty Warrior fight scenes, and the gameplay feels great. But it just takes so long to get those points. So I'm not a big fan. I haven't touched it since my first experience. It just doesn't. It's not. It took me. I need to learn more about this one. I don't like how much I have to learn. Dynasty Warriors, you don't have to think. And this one makes me have to think, and it takes away the purpose of the Dynasty Warrior games. Trash game, 10 out of 10. Scooby-Doo 2, based off James Gunn's Scooby-Doo 2, Monsters Unleashed. Terrific game. It's a little platformer. You can play as Scooby, Shaggy, and Daphne. With Daphne's sequences being more of combat oriented, while everyone else is just like exploring and looking for clues. Shaggy's more of a stealth action character. Scooby's just kind of an explorer character, and Daphne's like, let's go beat him up. And she has like a different weapon every time. Like, she has like a pole arm and like a sword, and it's very interesting how much variety there is in this game. It's a movie tie-in, so it's pretty short, sweet, but it does the job. And I bought this in a bundle with 2 other Scooby-Doo games. So I own 3 Scooby-Doo games currently. There are several more that I am going to add to my collection. Let's see. Oh, we got Boktai. I gave you a little Sunshine Gaming review of this earlier. Very fun little game from the creative genius known as Hideo Kojima. I know everyone kind of gives him shit for making the worst games ever made, but this one really stands out there. I think, there's a lot of potential with Sunshine Gaming that people aren't brave enough to try and tap into, and I think this really covers it. What I think I like most about this is that this is a stealth action game. I don't know what I would expect from a solar powered game, but stealth action shooter is kind of what they go for. So it is very reminiscent of a very bare bones Metal Gear Solid type game, and I've been having a lot of fun with it. Unfortunately, I can't play it all the time. Weather's been kind of difficult, and I've been having a time coordinating weather schedules with my own schedule to be able to properly play this. But when I do, I enjoy my sessions. A lot of variety in what little. It never ceases to amaze me how much you can fit into these games, and this is certainly a testament to that. Gift from Mr. Hayden Day, another movie tie-in game. Triple X, baby. I don't know if I really need to go into how great this game is, but it actually is a very interesting 2D side-scrolling shooter. Want to emphasize that this game is E for everyone. You have a dart gun and grenades. I haven't gotten too far into it yet. There does seem to be a variety of gameplay mechanics, from just running around shooting people with your dart gun, and then exploring or well, riding just vehicles, doing extreme stunts. And I'm looking forward to those sequences. 10 out of 10 out of 10. I'd give it, yeah, triple X, baby. Let's see what else we got. Oh yeah, and then we have Yu Yu Hakusho Tournament Tactics. It is a turn-based game based off the least tactical turn-based portion of the entire anime. They're 100% better seasons that they can sagas they can cover. But that being said, this is really fun. I've been enjoying this. I've been playing a lot. It's actually an easy game to play while I'm at work. Never was, I like the turn-based tactic games. I'm just not a turn-based RPG person, but this is a fun one. I mean, there's a ton of better ones, I'm sure, on the Game Boy Advance they hope to get. But if you're a little like anime boy who wants to try some tactics with just characters from the show that don't get explored very much, this is your game. You get to really cover some characters that are hardly in it. I'm embarrassed to talk about this next one, not because of the game itself, but because it took me so long to get into this series. Castlevania Harmony of Dissonance. What a game. I knew about Castlevania games, and it wasn't like avoiding them, but man, I've been having an absolute blast. I just beat this game actually right before I made this video. Couldn't just believe how fun, fluid, how good it felt to play this game on Game Boy Advance. It was a good game. I think it lives up to the standards of any, pixel game that you have today. So, wow. What a game. Castlevania Aria of Sorrow. It's the last of the Game Boy Advance Castlevania trilogy. The first one I just showed you was the second. This is the last one. I don't know much about it other than that everyone in this game is just a pretty boy. Pretty boy that fights vampires. Basically JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I don't know why it took me so long to get into a series based off these concepts I love so much. Look at this pretty boy. Don't you want to kiss him right in the mouth? I just did. 10 out of 10. And then last but certainly not least, we have Double Dragon, a remake of the original Double Dragon. It's considered one of the best versions of the Double Dragon in the series by many fans. Actually, the better version is on the iPod. They made a version of this for the iPod that is, I don't think no longer available, but it's the same framework as this one, essentially. Just plays more fluidly on an iPod? I don't know. Fuck them. I'm playing on my fucking Game Boy. Though I did used to have an orange iPod. Maybe I'll buy an orange iPod next. But, fuck them. Anyways, another great beat 'em up. Willie, just between us girls, this is normally like a $60 to $80 purchase. I think it's worth $400 unbought. I made friends with this guy in Colombia who just, he makes these things. I think this may or may not be street legal. Who knows? But it plays. So, can't complain there. Speaking of not being street legal, once again, here's my modded Game Boy. It doesn't have an audio jack. And the right button on the right trigger here sometimes doesn't work. But it's orange, so it's worth every penny. But yeah, I just wanted to give you a little update and just tell you how much I love you and wish you a happy birthday, Willie. Miss you, pal. Hopefully, we'll be seeing you soon, and bring your Game Boy. Surf's up.